We've got a special caller on the line. James, you are on Peace News Now. Welcome, James.
Thanks for taking me on, Derek.
Anytime.
And
so what's on your mind?
Well, real quickly, may I answer the question you posed to me on another show because I didn't get a chance? Because again, this isn't a shot at you. I consider Liberty Radio Network to be kind of like one long show where a bunch of guest hosts share each other's shows and guests, and you like all one show. That's all good with me. But you're not all one person. I know that.
Right.
But you, real quickly, you said I want to know what I am doing to support the Palestinians.
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
Well, I'm glad that my tax money goes to help erect Iron Dome. I'm glad my tax money goes to help pay for their military that is attempting to erase Hamas off the face of the earth.
I'm Googling that. You said Iron Dome. What is that? Iron Dome, a mobile all-weather air defense system. Yeah, I'm reading from Wikipedia. It says it's a mobile all-weather air defense system developed by so-and-so. The system is designed to intercept and destroy short-range rockets and artillery shells fired from distances of 4 kilometers. Okay, so this shoots missiles out of the sky.
That's why Hamas hasn't killed any Israeli civilians that they're aiming for when they started this little latest skirmish.
Well, that's good.
That is making international news.
Yeah, this is very good.
Your tax money went to pay for that.
Well,
I'm proud that my tax money went to pay for that.
Would you support that without tax money? Like, would you voluntarily give money to help build these things? I would. I think that's a worthwhile effort. I want to shoot missiles out of the sky. Yeah.
Yeah, especially ones shot by Nazis.
I don't care who's firing them. I don't want missiles flying around. I think that's bad news. I want those shot down. No more missiles, thanks.
Right, and once the Palestinians put out the infestation of Hamas in the Gaza Strip, there will be no more missiles because Israel doesn't want to shoot missiles at Gazians or Palestinians or whatever you want to call them. I can guarantee you that.
So in a free society, Whit, I feel like people would be free to choose what sort of ways they want to support an ongoing conflict. And you mentioned that you support the Palestinians by your tax dollars, and I say, you know, that's kind of weak, man. That's weak sauce. If you support these people, cut them a check and tell them what it's for. Not just say, oh, some of my money gets taken from me once a year, and then someone else divides it up and sends it to things I support. I mean, that's weak, right? Don't you surely agree with that?
Weak that I only give them money every so often. I wasn't talking about the Palestinians. I was talking about the Israelis whose my tax money has gone to pay for our tax money, by the way, goes to the Palestinians as well, the Palestinian Authority.
It goes all over the place. I mean, the tax money, it goes everywhere. I like to support just things that I know I'm supporting. When I cut a check to a charity, I know they're getting the food that I've provided. I like knowing that.
Can I ask you a question about your rights shall not be infringed? And about
sure, I did preface that saying I'm not a Constitution humper, but sure.
Well, it'd be okay if you were, because it's supposed to be the central law of our land. But
it's a pretty weak one. I think it sucks.
Why shouldn't you have the right, or do you believe you should have the right if you had the means? Why shouldn't you be speaking of guns and peaceful resistance or defending oneself, Derek J? Why shouldn't you have the right to drive a tank around Keene and park in one of those public parking spaces which require you to put money and change in them for other reasons that I don't want to even go in because I'm not down with your Robin Hooders. But
I do not believe in infringing anyone's right to a tank or a gun or a rocket launcher or whatever. I don't.
Do you think you should have the right to drive a tank down the streets of free Keene?
Yes, and the reason I think that this wouldn't happen in a free society is because roads would be privately owned. So there would be an owner who says...
I'm not talking... Don't change the paradigm. I'm talking about right now as Keene exists. If you had the money,
I don't play tyrant. I can help you imagine a better world, but I won't help play tyrant and come up with rules for existing society. Well, it would be...
I'm not talking about tyrants. I'm talking about your right to defend yourself. Should you have the right to drive a tank down the streets of Keene if you have the money.
I don't think
to buy
that's
a tank.
reasonable in today's society, if that's what you're asking. I don't think that there's any reasonable justification for that. I wouldn't stop anyone from doing that, though. I mean, I wouldn't put any effort
now
into stopping
you're
it.
on to something that we agree until the reasonable part until you said you wouldn't stop anybody from owning a tank.
Well, what am I going to
Driving around
do?
the streets of
You know,
Keene.
rob them and say you can't use this money to buy a tank anymore? Or what?
No, your fellow communitarians get together and pass a law where they say you don't have the right to drive a tank down the street.
I don't want to pass laws. See, that's playing tyrant. I want a free society. I want a free society.
Let me put it this way. Speaking of being tyrannical, and the largest prison population on planet Earth right now, Derek J., isn't in the United States of America. It's called North Korea. Okay?
You might want to check your facts
live
on
in a
that.
concentration camp. And they live in a country where a tyrant, a literal tyrant, does rule them. And it's really unfortunate. But it's not a matter of, okay, you can say it's a matter of opinion that North Korea is a concentration camp. But it is ruled by an oppressor,
Yeah.
a literal tyrant, a murderer, and a gangster.
So let's get the facts. The facts are that there are 2.3 million Americans incarcerated today, and there are 25 million North Koreans in existence. So you are right. I stand corrected that if we're considering if we're considering North Korea to be an entire prison, which I wouldn't argue with you, it is. There are 25 million people who are imprisoned in North Korea. An interesting point, and one I hadn't considered. But I would say that all governments, in their own ways, are prisons. There are just nicer prisons and less nice prisons. North Korea is probably the least nice.
Sounds to me like a really nice prison state. Then it looks and sounds to me like a pretty nice prison state. You have the right to free speech. Well, Keene.
Oh yeah, yeah. Keene is a nice prison. It's not so bad. There are some freedoms here.
A few more questions about Keene then, because has there been some kind of schism in the New Hampshire Libertarian Party? Because you denied that you were a Libertarian, and it's kind of funny. Is it because the Libertarian Party as it exists in New Hampshire isn't radical enough for you guys? Or
I've never been a Libertarian. I've never voted Libertarian. I don't ever claim to be a Libertarian. I am an anarchist. I'm a voluntarist. I believe in the abolition of all slavery, including governments, and I've been perfectly clear about that since day one.
Okay, I guess I never heard you say that you weren't Libertarian, because I know there's mention of the Libertarian Party on your network again.
Oh yeah.
Together because you're all like. Well, it's called the Liberty Radio Network.
Right.
You guys voting for?
There is a schism, if you want to call it that. I mean, I still dine with Daryl. I still hang out with him. I went to support him at his trial today. But he's one of these believers in using government, and he runs for election. He runs as a libertarian. He is struggling right now to acquire something like 300 signatures. So in order to get onto a ballot, he's trying to use the political process. I tell him every day, Daryl, you're wasting your time, you're wasting your money, focus on something more effective, because being a libertarian is just not going to bring more freedom to the world. All he's doing is showing how the Republicans and Democrats block out third parties and keep real freedom from happening. He does a good job of illustrating that.
That's a fascinating thought by you, because I left the Libertarian Party a long time ago. After the 2001 atrocity. It wasn't a tragedy, by the way. It was an atrocity. It was done on purpose.
You got the last 20 seconds.
Daryl, I would say, should join the Republican Party, because it's a winner-take-all election, every one you ever participate in. And the Libertarian Party ain't going to take any election so long as they're a radical fringe.
You can call in. It's Peace News Now.